Hello children. Welcome back to my channel. Warning, this contains boy love. And if you don't like it, then please get off my channel. Water pistol. It was graduation day. Nishinoya finds a letter in his bag. He brags to the rest of the team, "I got a love letter. Someone fell for me, isn't that not surprising at all?" He waves the piece of paper around, shoving it in everyone's face. But he doesn't open it till the end of the ceremony. Mainly because he forgot about it. He was too busy celebrating that he forgot about the pale yellow piece of folded paper in his bag. It's when he was handing Inoshita a drink he remembered about the letter, and he giddy skips to his bag to get the letter. He was so excited to learn more about his secret admirer, who totally fell for him and his great libero skills. Well, he was Nishinoya Haikyuu. Who wouldn't fall for him? He grins to himself, and tells the others that he's going to excuse himself for a bit. They all scoff and allow him to leave. They don't press on it for a very obvious reason, except Hinata, of course. "Yes. I wonder who fell for your rolling thunder. Please tell me about them first, okay?" Nishinoya shoots Hinata a thumbs up, sealing their conversation with a promise that Hinata would be the first one to learn about Nishinoya's admirer. Cute kid, Nishinoya thinks as he makes his way to the club room, the only place he could probably be left alone now. Before leaving the gymnasium, where the volleyball team decided to rest for a while, he looks back at his teammates. Everyone was having fun, smiles gracing their lips and hearts warm. All of them were discussing their previous match memories, teasing each other and overall, having a good time, and that was enough for Nishinoya. He was content with everything in his life, with everything that happened. The past years, in this very club, Nishinoya doesn't think his life can get any better. He remembers joining the club when he was a first year. He knew how far they had gotten. And it was a great feeling, looking back at how they build up their reputation again. And now, he's a third year, a senior, and someone with much more responsibility than before. He has a future to worry about, skills to polish, and so much more to learn. Deep down, he's scared. He's so very scared, about what the future has to offer. About whether volleyball will continue to give him the same satisfaction like it does now, and whether he will continue to love the sport the same way he does now. So many questions, so many thoughts, way too much for Nishinoya's strong mind. But sure, he's scared. He's anxious. He's worried. But just one glance at the graduates, the ex-third years, and all his worries ease. He calms down at the sight of the former third years. The smiles on their faces are a reminder for him to calm down. To enjoy what he has right now, and to never regret volleyball. For someone who is so carefree and insouciant in his daily life, stuff like this does sometimes get to Nishinoya, but just a reassuring pat from former captain, Daichi, is enough to fill his heart with colors of comfort and relief. A sweet smile from Sugora, and even the most pressurizing situations seem tame and controllable. And Asahi. His case was different, way different. So foreign from the rest that at first Nishinoya had no clue as to what he was feeling. Why did his chest feel so full when Asahi would merely look at him? Why did their exchange of glances seem much more intimate compared to the others? It was different. And different is scary. The walk to the club room was taking him some time, since the campus was crowded with several students either there to support their now graduated peers or were there to receive their diploma. Whatever that was, Nishinoya wasn't concerned at all. The supposed love letter was in his hand and his mind was occupied by someone else. Nishinoya was prepared to write an apology rejection letter back. He would never think of allowing someone to spend their precious time on him while his heart and mind raved about someone who has probably never seen him that way. Someone who would probably never ever see him that way, and just thinking about that brought great pain to Nishinoya's fragile heart. Nishinoya looked up at the crowd, watching groups of friends interact with each other, couples holding hands with shy cheek kisses. Nishinoya smiles at the public show of affection, and immediately his mind takes him to imagine some absurd romantic scene with Asahi, and Nishinoya's entire system shuts down. His cheeks flare up just at the thought of the taller man bending down to softly press his lips against Nishinoya's forehead, because even though the action isn't all that, he knows that it would be way too intimate. That was one of the factors that played a big part in Nishinoya realizing his feelings for Asahi. Everything they would do was too intimate for him. From an outsider's perspective, the sight of helping someone practice isn't that romantic. Well, it would be considered normal teammate behavior. But to Nishinoya, those late-night practices with Asahi were much more than just helping your teammate polish their rusted skills. Nishinoya remembers how Asahi would, without a second of complaint, spike all his terrible tosses. Just a little constructive criticism here and there, but nothing that could be considered harsh. Because Asahi knows exactly what pierces through Nishinoya's heart and would never do anything to upset him. Nishinoya knew about Asahi sacrificing his sleep just so that Nishinoya could practice his tosses. He knew because it was so obvious. The fatigue slowed down his movement, his eye bags were way too evident, but Asahi never once thought of leaving the court. Never thought of leaving Nishinoya alone. The fourth night, Nishinoya remembers, was when Nishinoya finally snapped at Asahi. He just couldn't comprehend why the older would give up his resting time for him. For fuck's sake, Nishinoya wasn't an expert in setting, so why would Asahi not yell at him when he would throw reckless and absolutely horrendous tosses at him? Why wouldn't Asahi throw back the ball at Nishinoya and leave? Why would Asahi change his regular positions, mid-air and in general, so he could match up with the pace Nishinoya would unintentionally set? Nishinoya's heart was racing, as he threw worse tosses by the second. It was getting late, around 9 in the night, and Nishinoya could see the patience in Asahi slowly run out. And around the 19th toss, Asahi fell onto the floor, panting heavily from trying to get a hold of Nishinoya's amateurish tosses, getting 0 out of the 19 tosses thrown to him. "Noya, you could maybe throw it a little higher? Maybe I could get it then." Nishinoya's temper rose when he heard that. Anger consumed him entirely. He marches towards the taller, his light body tightening with every step he takes to Asahi. "What is your problem?" Abruptly, Asahi gets shoved by the shorter and he's taken aback by the sudden reaction. "Noya. No. I won't fucking listen to you. Who do you think you are?" Nishinoya inches towards the older, the distance between them lessening as Nishinoya takes a step closer. Asahi is bewildered, he doesn't know what triggered such a response from his peer. He opens his mouth to say something back, but at the sight of Nishinoya's agitated expression, he closes it back. There, another thing that goes right through Nishinoya's heart. Melts it till its core, absolutely shatters it. Asahi wouldn't ever think of uttering a syllable that he knew Nishinoya wouldn't like hearing. He wouldn't ever let himself get aggressive with the shorter. Would never think of even trying to upset the younger. Nishinoya seethes. He almost thought he started hating Asahi at that moment. "There, you don't want to say anything now, you fucker." Nishinoya spits out, looking away while gritting his teeth. He couldn't believe how ridiculous Asahi was acting. Nishinoya just couldn't understand what Asahi was trying to achieve with him not yelling back at Nishinoya. Asahi didn't know what to do or say. His brain is hazy and unclear, so he doesn't know what to say, so he doesn't, in fear that he would blurt out something that would further upset Noya. So, he grabs Nishinoya's wrist instead to grab his attention, and forces him to make eye contact. Nishinoya looks back at him with his icy gaze, but he immediately softens when he realizes that Asahi was visibly upset with his sudden outburst. Strings of apologies made their way to the tip of Nishinoya's tongue, but the stubborn side of him held the apology back. Even if he didn't have any idea as to what was going on, he never meant to get Asahi upset or mad. He was just confused, and he really didn't want Asahi to misunderstand the situation, or even worse, start hating him. That, Nishinoya knows, he would never be able to handle. But Nishinoya is more stubborn than sensible. "What the fuck do you want?" The malice that dripped down each word. Nishinoya almost flinched at his tone. He didn't mean it to sound that harsh, but he couldn't take back what he said. Asahi has to say something now, he has to yell at you. Nishinoya was ready for the heartbreak. He was ready to move on from this stupid and irrational crush he had on his fucking teammate. Nishinoya was aware that his entire aura radiated negativity, but oh how he wished Asahi would ignore everything and just wrap his arms around his waist and pull him close while whispering comforting phrases. Nishinoya was starting to regret his outburst, wanting to do nothing more but collapsing onto the floor and begging Asahi to forgive him. But he had unleashed the beast in him, and the beast was there to stay, regardless of whether Nishinoya wanted it to stay or not. "What the fuck do I want? For you to calm down. I want you to calm down, Noya." Nishinoya squeezes his eyes shut, afraid that once Asahi sees the tears forming in his eyes, he'll learn about Nishinoya's stupid feelings. He can feel his heart constricting, and he just wants to stop. I don't know what is troubling you, and it's okay if you don't want to tell me. But I'm there for you, I'll always be there for you. That's the fucking problem, Asahi. You're always there for me. You're always saying shit like that, which I take to heart, and it makes me think that you have feelings for me. But you don't. Just like how you were there for me when I was at my lowest. Just like that, I'll always stand here with my arms open for you. Nishinoya opens his eyes at that, and searches for even the slightest speck of insincerity in Asahi's eyes. He so desperately wanted to find something that would make him hate Asahi, he really wanted to get rid of these suffocating feelings. But he finds nothing but pure sincerity, solace, comfort and, if Nishinoya wasn't mistaken, love. Asahi never had a problem with Nishinoya's amateur tosses, he never had a problem with how he had to sacrifice his evening just so Nishinoya could perfect his receives. He had no problem with all the bruises his arms were covered up in because of the tosses he had to take so that Nishinoya doesn't think that he's bad at tossing. So, pretty naturally, he didn't have a problem with Nishinoya breaking down in his arms. Didn't have a problem when Nishinoya silently cried out for comfort, didn't have a problem when Nishinoya's heart broke into innumerable pieces, didn't have a problem when Nishinoya handed to him each piece of his heart and soul. The club room was dark, which was pretty obvious because it was locked for quite a while since the volleyball team rarely met up for meetings as they all were pretty busy with their year-end exams, and for the third year's graduation. Nishinoya switches on the lights of the room, and grins ear to ear when he sees the walls plastered with posters of the Karasuno team. Some posters were made by Hitoka while some of the others were gifted to the team by their schoolmates. It filled Nishinoya with immense pride, his chest inflating from the happiness and pride he had to contain in order to not yell. Karasuno finally made their name known, the crows flew high again. But Karasuno appreciation was to be left aside, since Nishinoya was here for something else. He walks to the chair in the corner of the room, and takes a seat, removing the folded piece of paper from his bag gently, not wanting to crumple it in the slightest. What was once a smile turns to a short stretch of lips as he reads out to himself the first line of the letter. Dear Noya, this is a love letter or whatever you may have assumed at first. There goes Nishinoya's ego, bursting through the roof. With a smirk on his lips, he quietly continues reading the letter. Yes, you do have a secret admirer. I know your ego has probably burst through the roof just at the thought of you having a secret admirer. And we can't do much about that, can we? No one can tell you to change because you're just like that, and that makes you so special. So special that the world around me collapses the moment I see your lips curve into that wonderful smile of yours. The moment you laugh, it's like an automatic spotlight illuminates your presence, making you the brightest, even in a crowd of millions. That's just how you are, Noya. Perfect. I would write to you how much I love when your eyes sparkle under the dim light of the sun when it bids us goodbye, love when you start mumbling how the bright afternoon sun is stealing away your brightness. You're so cute, you know. Your constant squabbles with Tanaka over Kyoko, it's all so cute. To see you hop when Tsukishima holds the volleyball up to tease you, to see you when your head's all big after Hinata compliments you for the nth time. I don't mind it when you look over me, or ignore me to talk to someone else. It's all fine, it's fine as long as you keep looking at me with that look you have. That look when it seems like honey is dripping out of your eyes, that look that almost gives me hope that I matter to you, the same way you matter to me. Oh, Noya. I'm so terribly in love with you, so in love that it sometimes is hard to breathe around you. Because you take away my breath every time you show up to practice. Bet you just cringed. Well, I don't care because I need to tell you. I need to tell you everything before it's too late. Now, you might be wondering. Why didn't this fool tell me verbally? Because this fool is afraid. I know. You told me numerous times that fear is stupid and that we should overcome our fears, yeah, you've given me hundreds of lectures about that. But Noya, this fear, it's different. And it's scary. Because different is scary. It's so scary. When I first realized that I loved you, I was so scared because I never felt this strongly for someone ever before. That fear, eventually, subsided. But whenever I look into your eyes and see them sparkling, I, once again, become a coward. That's why I'm writing a letter, instead of confessing to you in person, because I'm scared. Of what exactly? I'm not quite sure myself, there are way too many things I'm afraid of. And one of those many things is losing you. I don't ever want to lose you, Noya. I'm sure I don't think I'll be able to look into your eyes after this, because I fear the future. I don't think I'll be able to talk to you the same way, hold you the same way, because it's so hard. It's so hard knowing that if I slip up and accidentally open up the part of my heart I initially planned on keeping a secret from you, you'll hate me. But it's okay. You can hate me for as long as you promise me that you will be happy. I'm not going to college, you know. I don't think I want to, I don't even know what to do with my future. I'm so scared, Noya. Because every time I sit down to think about my future, your face appears and it confuses me so much. I close my eyes to picture what I will be doing in the future and I see you in my arms, and I just don't understand. I don't know what I want to do in the future, but all I know is that I want you to be a part of my future, as my friend, as my soulmate. I know I'm selfish to not consider your feelings, I don't know what you think of me. And to be frank, I don't want to know because I don't want to hurt myself more. Your smiles do that way too often and my poor, fragile heart can't handle all that. So, just reading this letter is enough. If you want, you can throw it away later. I just ask for you to be happy. With me or without me in your life, I just want you to be happy. Never lose your spark, maybe learn how to toss well, sorry. Don't be mad, I'm sorry for writing that, I don't know if you can read it but if you can, then sorry, don't be mad, Noya. Thank you for shaping me into the human I am now. Thank you for making me Karasuno's ace. Thank you for saving me when I spiraled into whatever I spiraled into when we lost that match against Date Tech. Thank you for making me realize my worth, my position in Karasuno. Thank you for all the memories you gave. Sure, I have memories with the other teammates but memories I share with you, they are a little special. Fly high, Noya. Way higher than I could ever. But will it be too much to ask for? Maybe it is. Maybe I shouldn't ask you but fly high, with me? It's okay if you don't want to, I'm not forcing you to. Am I ruining the mood? Sorry, Noya. Close bracket. Lastly, I love you. I will forever love you, and I hope you can forgive me this time for being a coward. Take care, stay healthy and happy. I love you. Love. Asahi. Nishinoya ran, he dashed through the crowd and ran as fast as he could. He ran faster than he ran in any of his matches, he ran till he found himself standing in front of his destination, the gymnasium. It was quiet, since people were starting to drain out from the campus and back to their homes or restaurants to celebrate. Nishinoya prayed that he wasn't too late, he prayed that Asahi would be waiting for him. Just like he did for their late-night practices. The gymnasium, too, seemed quiet and Nishinoya feared that what he came for here wouldn't happen after all. His head was spinning, his heart was beating faster than ever and he was so happy. His cheeks were hurting from smiling so much, he just couldn't believe it. There were too many emotions Nishinoya was feeling at once, too many for him to sort out and frankly, he just didn't care. Even though he knew the entire world could hear his heart beating so loud, his mind was just yelling out Asahi's name. With his heart light and smile bright, he leans forward to push open the door when someone opens the door from inside of the gymnasium. And there goes fate, piecing back Nishinoya's life and heart in just a second. Noya. And the shorter doesn't waste a second, and immediately wraps his arms around Asahi's waist, pressing himself closer to the older, worried that Asahi would suddenly decide to let go. Nishinoya buries his face into Asahi's chest, and the tense body of the older eases as he wraps his arms around Nishinoya. Don't let go, please. Nishinoya squeaks out, trying to get even closer to Asahi. He closes his eyes, and feels the warmth radiating off the older. Asahi doesn't dare to move, afraid that if he shifted even an inch, this moment would be disrupted and Asahi definitely doesn't want that. Asahi lets out a chuckle, his chest vibrating as his chuckles grow louder and louder. Nishinoya doesn't mind though, Asahi's laugh was like a sweet melody to his ears. Never, Noya. I won't ever let you go, never in a million years. Asahi buries his face in Nishinoya's hair, feeling Nishinoya place a chaste kiss on his clothed chest. They both stay like that for a while, basking in the love that was radiating off of the lovers. All alone at the entrance of the gymnasium and the setting sun serving as the witness of their intimate moment. Nishinoya is the first one to pull away from the hug, and he looks up at Asahi with the same smile that Asahi loved so much, and Asahi parts his lips. Promise me? Nishinoya furrowed his brows, his blinding smile was now reduced to a small pout. Promise you what? Asahi grins at Nishinoya, one arm around the other's waist and the other one cupping Nishinoya's jaw, his thumb gently stroking Nishinoya's cheekbone. Promise me that you will stay. Nishinoya found his vision blurring as he tried his best to contain his feelings. The happiness blooming in his chest suddenly was way too much for the poor little boy. So, he stands on his tippy toes and pecks Asahi's lips quickly and immediately hides himself in the taller's chest, embarrassment replacing the sudden surge of confidence. Asahi laughs, and not the silent one but the more booming one. Oh, what happened to your confidence, baby? Nishinoya was certain that if Asahi kept this up, his heart would burst and he would die before tasting Asahi's lips for the last time. Shut up, you monster. Nishinoya mutters into his lover's chest, tightening his grip around Asahi's waist. You're so cute, Noya. My little flower. Nishinoya tries to push away Asahi while trying to mask his happiness with annoyance but fails when he hears Asahi giggle. Asahi pulls him closer once again, and presses a feathery kiss on Nishinoya's head once more. You'll never get rid of me, you big baby. Both of them smile at that, and silence blankets over them for a while. I will. Nishinoya breaks the silence. You'll what? Nishinoya looks up at Asahi, once again, with his doe-like sparkling eyes. I'll fly high, Asahi. I'll fly higher than you could ever. I'll fly high, with you. Asahi could feel his heart expanding, and he finds himself falling deeper in love with his little flower. And the evening sun witnessed the couple falling in love with each other. Once again. The gentle rays of the sun casting their golden glow onto both the lovers' faces, making them feel like they are the only ones in love. Like they are the only ones flying high. They both are afraid. Afraid of the future, their future, afraid of everything. But as long as the thread tying their hearts together doesn't break, they can cross any bridge. As long as they are together. As long as they fly high together, it'll be alright. Warning: this fanfiction does not belong to me, neither does the fan art. Credits to the original artist and author to the fan art and the fanfiction. Haikyuu does not belong to me either.